was looking through a bunch of my old pictures the other day. It dawned on me that y'all probably thought I grew up in a rodeo family, especially given the fact that my parents own this badass arena. Hold up, let's take a moment for the shirt before I ruin it and get it dirty. But anyways, I didn't even get my first horse till I was 14, which is wild because horses are legit my entire life and my family's entire life now. It has not always been that way. I have been a girly girl since day one. To be honest, until I was like 10 years old, I was terrified of horses. Anyways, it's gonna be a journey, so buckle in. So when my mom was a teenager, my grandma and them owned horses. It was nothing like what we do. They were not performance horses. They were trail horses. They would hop on, they would go ride, and that would be it. And honestly, majority of the time, they were just riding bareback. My mom and her best friend would go ride all the time on the pasture, but as time went on, my grandma ended up selling all their horses. That was my mom and my grandma's horse. But my mom's best friend always stayed in the horse industry. Obviously, years go by. Both my mom and Jean have kids, and my mom gets pregnant with me. And Jean comes to her and tells her she's pregnant too. And their due dates are only 2 weeks apart, so they're super pumped. Now, Beth came early and I came super late, so our birthdays are like a month apart. But that's besides the point. They've basically built us a built-in best friend since day one. So, of course, growing up, I was at her house every 5 minutes. She's at my house. We never separated. But her and I could not have been more different of kids. My interests were dresses, dance, and makeup. And hers were rocks, science, and horses. So, with how much she loved horses, we did a lot of 4-H showing, stuff like that. Of course, since we never separated, they would pack my little prissy ass along. And I was terrified every second of it. But, of course, me being basically just another one of Jean's kids, she'd force me to go clean stalls, do chores. Of course, I'd be whining the whole time, freaking out that I was getting my little hands dirty. Dirt under the acrylic. Damn near sent my ass into a coma. And finally, about the time I turned 10 years old, Jean was like, I am tired of listening to you be so scared of these freaking horses. So she put me in a round pen on the chillest horse she had, threw my ass up on this little horse bareback. And I need to paint y'all a picture. I'm literally wearing white Miss Me shorts, quaking in my little buckle sandals, and she stayed out there with me until I stopped having a meltdown just being on the back of a horse. I swear that whole summer she was so determined to turn me into a horse person. Took me to my first rodeo. She showed me how to trail ride. And honestly, she did do something there because it lit a spark in me that took a while to grow. But by the time I turned 13, I really wanted my own horse. Granted, I hadn't even rode since that summer, but I kept pestering my parents. Now, my mom was not hard to convince. Given the fact that she grew up with horses and she always loved horses, by the time my 14th birthday rolled around, she came. So my parents loaded me up, took me clear to Illinois to try out this standard bred mare. Her name was Belle. And y'all, I was so scared of this horse. I had no clue what I was doing. They told me to take her for a little test drive. I was shitting my pants. I didn't even know what to do. When we got there, we didn't even have a trailer, but they were getting out of horses, so they ended up selling us their trailer right then and there, and we took her home. So that's how we ended up with our first horse, but it's a whole journey before I even got into barrel racing because it took me a full year just to learn how to even lope a horse. If y'all want me to make this a little series explaining how I even got into all this, I would be down, but only if you're interested.